3, 2, 1. Slight bounce in the markets. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Smart Investor Show, where smart investors get their up to date price analysis and market information. Okay, today is Friday. We have a very interesting show. Today is Friday, so that means that we'll be taking a lot of your stock questions. And what we'll do is rapidly go through a number of stocks that I have received questions on how to analyze or analysis of these various stocks. So we're going to speak about that. All in all, today we see a slight bounce in the averages so far. I'm recording this at 2:40 p.m. Eastern time, and the Dow is up at 17.69 points. The Nasdaq up 35, and the S&P 500 is up 0.15%, 3.97. So the good news in the stock indices is that we have seen a bounce from yesterday. Yesterday we saw a huge sell-off in the market, and today we have a bounce. So that is a slight positive for these markets. And another positive, just looking on the chart analysis, is that we are bouncing in an area of support. Will this support hold long term? We're not sure yet, but at least we're bouncing in an area of support. Resistance in this market comes in at 24, starting at 2,460, all the way up to 2,474 for the S&P 500. Now, taking a look at a broader perspective, as I said and have been saying, is that the month of August sometimes can be very volatile in the market, and the sell-off that we saw yesterday could be the start of something bigger, or it could be just a blimp. But investors just have to be cautious at this point in time. I still remain bullish on the gold sector. We're going to take a look at we're going to analyze gold in just a moment, but the price action is looking positive. But there's a major hurdle that I would like to see prices overcome before we really get going. And as I said, we're going to analyze the stocks that were sent in to us. If you want your stock analyzed, you can go to info@smartinvestorcentral.com, send us an email, send us the ticker symbol. You don't really need to send the company name, just the ticker symbol, and we'll take a look at it for you, so that everybody can benefit from the analysis. Okay, looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, pretty much similar price action to the S&P 500, where we're bouncing, maintaining above 21,800, which is fairly positive for the market. And what we see here in the Dow, and was that yesterday with the sell-off in the Dow, we saw a huge spike up in the VIX, and the VIX spiked up because folks genuinely are jittery in this market. And they are jittery because folks are sitting on a lot of profits, or a lot of funds are sitting on a lot of profits, and at any slight decline, especially with the geopolitical risks out there now, folks are understandably jittery and understandably nervous. And that's why I think the VIX is this volatile at this point in time. But today we have some stability returning. What will be interesting is to see what happens next week, because we're coming up on, today is August 11th, and Monday will be the 14th of August, so mid August. And if the market maintains its pattern or seasonal tendency to be very volatile in August, we could have a very rocky end of our second half of the month of August. Okay, taking a look at the overseas markets, the German DAX is down, and sometimes the German DAX. The interesting thing with the German DAX is sometimes it can act as a leading indicator for what's happening with S&P 500, and we see a decline in German DAX at this point in time, and that is something that we just have to keep a watch out on. Support in the DAX. The DAX is coming up on support in the 12,000 in the 12,000 and 11,800 region. Looking at the FTSE over in England, the FTSE index is, if this chart would ever come up, okay, the FTSE is down also. Markets were down strongly this morning, and the sell-off actually continued. What support in the FTSE is currently at 7,096, and resistance remain at the all-time high that was made a couple of weeks ago at 7,558. Okay, looking at the US dollar index is down on the morning, or down on the day, and after running into some resistance, running into some resistance at the 93.38 level, we see a decline in dollar again, and I believe that the market will test the support area around 92 on the US dollar index as seen here. And so we're currently at 92.96. We could get a move down to 92, and then we'll have to see how the market reacts at that 92 level. Notice in the dollar index over the last couple of years, anytime the market is in this 92 to 94 region, we get a bounce. In 2015, market came, bounced, down again, bounced again, down again. In this area, we had a huge bounce, down again. So will we get a bounce here in the dollar index? If we do get a bounce, that does not bode well for gold. We could see a stalled gold market. It may not bode well for commodities. But if we do breach this 92 area and close below it, that could signal to me that there a bottom or a top, a longer term top has been put in the dollar, and we could see further losses in the value of the dollar. That is a trend I'll be paying attention to, because if this is a top in the dollar, the trend against the dollar could last another 6-7 years. I mean, the last bear market for the dollar, let's just take a look at it. Last bear market in the dollar was from 2001, 2002, all the way to 2008. So we had a 6-year bear market. So this could be the beginning of a huge move down if we do not get a bounce out of this 92 level. And that's why it's important to pay attention to what the charts are doing. The charts sometimes are not really magic. They give an indication of support and resistance in the markets. And even the casual investor should pay attention to what a chart of a stock or a particular market is doing. Looking at the euro is bouncing out of support at 117, and we're looking to challenge the high that was made at 119.39 on the euro. Euro, similar situation to the dollar index. Every time the market has hit these levels, 117, 118, we have had a decline, and this looks to be a sustained breakout in the euro. So we just have to keep an eye out on it. Taking a look at the gold market, price action in gold still remains very positive, but what I'm looking for is this market to close above the 1300 region. As you can see, the market came up to 1300 in April, we declined. Again in June, we declined. So what will happen here? Will we get another decline? The bulls need to push this market above the 1300 region for me to be more confident in this market, and for me to start to look really at buying some aggressive positions in gold. And as I said before, that I'm bullish gold, but we just need to clear that hurdle, and this hurdle coming. It's very important. If we do clear the hurdle, that would give the bulls the technical evidence and the evidence essentially to push this market further up, and we could even challenge the 1400 region. But the question is this a longer term bottom in gold? And if it is, we could be on the verge of a strong up move in gold over the next couple of years. So prepare yourself. Follow us here on the Smart Investor Central, the Smart Investor Show. What you can do is subscribe to the channel below, also like the video, and we will have your analysis. We come daily. We'll have your analysis of these markets and give you an unbiased opinion as to what's happening in the market. Looking at the oil market, price action in oil still remain stagnant. Market is hovering about the $48 level, and there's no emerging trend here in the crude oil market. Long term, we're kind of basing out. We're in this rough channel here, and until the market kind of breaks out of this channel in either direction, we will see this stagnant, choppy price action in the value of oil. Let me also take a look at silver, and silver is one of the markets folks have submitted a question on. What is the scenario with silver? I believe silver is kind of waiting on gold, and the series of lower highs and lower lows has been broken with silver on the charts. You see lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And that was broken in 2016, where we had this huge run up. Then we have had lower highs, lower lows. This low and this low is still above this low. So the market is marginally positive. We have to stay above this low and this low. And if we can rally above, especially these highs right here, that would be fairly bullish for silver. And that could confirm or would confirm a bottom in this market. So gold and silver, two markets that I'm looking at, two markets that the trends could be emerging, and two markets that if these trends really start to move upwards, we can see some very profitable moves. Which also leads me to something. When you have these emerging bull markets and basing, these positions have to be managed properly, because gold is a fairly volatile asset. And if you are dealing with leverage, if you are dealing with futures, or you are dealing with ETFs, it's good to manage these positions properly. And because folks, sometimes the market goes up, they see it go up a little, they take some profits, and that may just be really the beginning of a huge move up, or they see a little dip in the market. So for example, let's say the market dips below, they may panic and exit. So the thing with buying gold and silver is specific buy and sell points, and it's very important just to manage your positions properly, or else what will happen is that you can end up not making any money even in the face of huge bull markets. Looking at, we did gold, we did silver. Okay, looking at the stocks we got questions about, and we'll just be going through them quickly. The first stock is AJRD. And as most of you will see here, I am just focusing on price action. There is the mainstream media and mainstream financial advisors like to give us price earnings ratio and a lot of mumbo jumbo and stuff to look at. And essentially, those things are not what make you money in the market. It is knowing when to buy and when specifically to sell, and that is very important in the market. Now, Aerojet, AJRD, The question was, they are long the market. What should you do? I would continue to hold this. This is very positive. As you can see, the market made a new high just just this week. Market blew past resistance in the $25 region. So this is something I will be holding on to. Next stock, Momo. We have discussed this stock, or we discussed this stock earlier in the week, but apparently it's very popular. I never know people this was so popular. It's like the third question I'm getting on it. Okay, market up against resistance in the $46 region, and it is consolidating. This is the line. It's a triangular consolidation with this stock. I will hold this stock, and if it drops below 35, I'll be looking to exit. SNC. SNC. SNC gapped up in July. Price action has been kind of anemic, but we're close to new highs in this market. Market's at $20. Pretty strong chart pattern, pretty strong positioning. I'll hold on to the stock. If it drops below 19, I'll be looking to exit. Okay. UCTT. Nasdaq, UCTT market came up to resistance. Just take a look at long-term look. So we have had a fairly dramatic move up from roughly $4 in 2016 to $26 now. Market came up and hit resistance at $26. If it dips below 18, I'll be exiting. Right now, this is, I will say, it's a hold. Okay. TSEM. TSEM market, again, looking at the weekly chart, close to new highs on the year, but this is a stock that has a lot of overhead resistance. Tower Semiconductor, a lot of overhead resistance. As you can see, 95, and in 2000 the market was at $650, and we are currently at the $24 region. Price action at this point in time is positive. We are moving to the upside. If I was long this market, I would hold it. If we drop below 23, I'll exit the market. So this would be a hold. But generally, something like this, I probably wouldn't have bought to begin with, because of this massive overhead resistance between 95, 2000, and 2000. This is massive overhead resistance. A lot of sellers could be preventing this one from moving up. So this is something I probably wouldn't have bought to begin with. But if you are long below 23, as I said, you could exit. Okay. NTB. Looking at NTB, let's take a look at the monthly chart. Market is moving sideways after accelerating from its October debut. Actually, September debut. Market went up. It's currently at the $35, $33 region. It's basing. If the market drops below 32, I'd be looking to exit this stock at this point in time. Okay, YRD. YRD has some resistance that in September, October. Take a weekly, take a look at the monthly. We're coming up to challenging this high again that we saw in middle of last year. So there are some sellers in here. Are some sellers in here in the $42 region because it's coming up against resistance after decline in the market based and is kind of on an upward trend. If I was holding on to this, or if I own this, I would continue to hold it at this point in time. Next one, DELL. It's not a symbol, but I believe they mean Dell Computer. Uh, I don't remember the symbol for Dell Computer off of the top of my head. Okay, so that essentially are the stocks that we analyzed today. Remember, if you want your stock analyzed, you can send a email into info@smartinvestorcentral.com. Remember to like the channel, and the channel is here for you guys. It's for what we're attempting to do. It's not like I know anything about YouTube or social media or anything. I'm actually very I don't know much about technology. I don't know much about social media marketing, etc. But a lot of folks on that we collaborate with, and a lot of folks, our clients, say well, it would be a good idea to have a analysis show that gives a unbiased view of what's happening in the markets. No CEOs are coming onto this show, um, and just to give some real raw opinion of various stocks and various markets, looking at the price analysis and looking at what you really need to pay attention to earn money in these markets. So we have decided to get it done, and I'm actually enjoying the feedback I have received over the last couple of days, and I encourage you to continue to support the channel. To support the channel, you are here from the ground level. We're really just starting off this channel. What you can do is hit subscribe and like the videos, and that will let the channel grow and uh, let the channel rise in its organic rankings, because we're not spending any money on this channel. It's just all organic, all what you guys like, etc. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be back again on Monday. Thank you.